Welcome to the D-Post for All Season Sports Show. I'm Drew Rubenstein, and I'm joined with publisher Dave Racy. And Dave, in addition to the football team's up and down season, the other hot topic recently has been Oliver Luck. He was mentioned for the Stanford job a little more than a year ago, and now it's Texas. The Lost Dodds is leaving by August of 2014, and Oliver Luck's name has popped up. Do you think Texas is interested in Oliver Luck?
I would imagine they're interested in him. I think, that Mr. Dodds, he's been there for a long time. He was the one that hired their present football coach, Mac Brown, and so he may have had an edict of, either resigning or getting rid of the football coach, and he may have sort of fallen on the sword, so to speak. So I would imagine that, unless Texas really has an unbelievable turnaround, that the AD's first job, new AD at Texas' first job, will to be search for a football coach. So I guess, based on Oliver Luck's experience here, that's what he's done before, and so maybe they think he'll be the right guy to do it there too.
And that kind of goes into the next part of the question of Oliver has been a guy that during his tenure at West Virginia has not been afraid to make changes.
Nope.
So do you think he would be interested should a school like Texas come calling?
Oh, I would think so. I mean, Texas is, from what I hear, Austin's a beautiful place. Texas is one of the top institutions in the country, he spent many years in Texas. I would think that'd be almost an opportunity to pass up. I mean, it's like when Rich Rodriguez left or John Beilein left, they went to Michigan. Those are great schools and great chances for them, and I think Oliver would have to look long and hard at that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's when you look at the financials, Texas is significantly higher than any other college athletic department. So, I mean, they're playing at a completely different level. This isn't the first time Oliver has come up for jobs. It's been Stanford. It's been different commissioner jobs. What do you think makes him attractive, or at least keeps bringing his name up into conversation and when jobs like this pop up?
Well, Oliver Luck is a very intelligent, very personable person. He makes a very good appearance and a public appearance. His, explaining the logics of the move to the Big 12, I don't think anybody could argue with, or things like that. Now, how things are going on, some other things, is a little bit questionable, but, that'll be sort of sorted out later. But I think, some big schools are a little bit impatient, and I think if you're looking for a man of action, he might be the guy. He's made, not only football coach, but volleyball, baseball. He's made a lot of changes, and because he felt that's what needed to be done. And I think sometimes maybe a school like Texas is looking for some guy who will make changes, and because he realizes that's the way to change things and make them better.
That kind of goes into my next question here. He's been at West Virginia 2.5 years. Maybe he's going to be here for a lot longer. We'll wait to see. But what is his legacy at West Virginia? I'm interested in what you think, and we'll start off with his best and worst decision since he's been athletic director.
Well, I think his best decision is possibly, I think the volleyball situation, even though that's one that no one knows about. 20-some years ago, I had a friend who was an graduate assistant, and he was wanting the job then. He just felt that the former coach was not going to be able to do it. Of course, she stayed there a long time. Mm-hmm. They had good graduation rates, but I think the volleyball team's made a big improvement with the hiring of the new coach. And baseball, obviously, big change there. I don't know if it was, a situation where the team was just ready to go, or Coach Mazey did it all himself. But that looks like that was a good move. Mm-hmm. So some other ones are going to be left out there. I probably should not comment on the radio and rights and things like that. But the football coach's situation is still unfolding as we speak, I think. And like you say, it's up and it's down. Mm-hmm. So after Clemson and the Orange Bowl, we thought we had the best ever, and now we're scratching our heads. So that may still have to play out.
And the one word that keeps coming up when you're describing Oliver Luck is change. It seems like he's constantly making changes, and there's the whole saying that programs and teams kind of go from one extreme to the next in hiring coaches. And you look at it, West Virginia, a guy like Don Nehlen to Rich Rodriguez, then to Bill Stewart, then to Dana Holgorsen. Do you think the same is true with athletic directors, at least in this case, kind of going from Ed Pastelong to Oliver Luck, and in that sense, is Oliver one of the most aggressive athletic directors in WVU history, or does he compare to anybody else in your mind?
Well, no, I think he's a different athletic director than we've ever had before, because usually the athletic directors we've had have grown up through the coaching ranks at WVU and playing, and with the exception of Dick Martin, who was only here for a short period of time, but Leland Bird, Red Brown, Eddie Pastalong, Fred Schaus, they were all sort of homegrown through not only playing here but coaching here. You know, Oliver played here, but then he never coached here, and I don't know if he's been a coach. He's always been a league administrator of some type, or things like that. So he's a little bit different background, and maybe even younger than the other athletic directors when they first started their job. Though I speak off the top of my head on that, but I think it's not quite the same. And as far as the coaches, I think if we fluctuate, it's from getting someone homegrown or bringing in someone from the outside. And West Virginia's never been real comfortable bringing people in from the outside. You know, we like to have our guys already picked out. You know, Gail Callett and Bobby Huggins were very close to the same thing. Both had great success at Cincinnati. While they were there was a great clamor to get them here, and we ended up getting both of them. You know, Rich Rodriguez, there was a lot of support for him to come here, and so John Beeline was probably the only guy that no one really knew a lot about, and so I think we like to keep it familiar, sort of like in West Virginia sports.
And I would agree there that the same is true with Oliver Luck. I think he was a name that you heard as soon as Ed Passalong started to retire. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as Texas navigates through this athletic director search. Dave, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Please continue to check TheDPost.com for all the latest on the Mountaineers. Thanks for watching.